every single person turned it down. Every studio, every production company turned it down. And I thought it was dead. Like I just spent a year and a half of my life wasted. And then the Sundance Lab happened to hear about the script and called and asked to read it and then asked me to come in to talk about it. And that absolutely changed the trajectory of that story, that script in my life.
Tell me how that works. Everyone said no, and then through the business, through networking, the Sundance Lab says this seems like it could be something special. You take it there and do what?
It's amazing. It's an amazing program. You get mentors. So I had Scott Frank, who is an incredible writer. Kathy Bates was one of my mentors. Paula Tenasio. So these great writers and actors who talk to you about your work, they're not supposed to really give you notes, but in talking with them and getting some of their expertise, you start to figure out things about your script and how to improve it. And then the biggest thing that they do is they put a reading on, and they put a reading on of Love and Basketball, and that's where, and they help you cast it, and they invite the industry. And Spike Lee's company was there that night, and they heard it and came up to me and said, "We want this," and that was amazing.
And then that was all she wrote? Because this sounds very fairy tale. It sounds like I know it didn't happen that way in real life. I know there was much more work put into it. It seems like, oh, they said no. I went somewhere. They said yes. Spike Lee was like, give it to me. I know it wasn't that simple.
Yeah, that whole to get to that point was a lot of tears, a lot of like, fuck,
Uh huh.
wants this story that was so clear in my head. Like that's soul crushing to put yourself so deeply into something and to have a whole industry say, I don't get it, I don't care, we don't want it. Sundance, they look for voices that are different or unique than what Hollywood is putting out. So that was the benefit that they heard about the story. And the thing is, the industry recognized it was good writing, it was a good script, but they didn't see the value in it. They didn't see the value in those characters. Um, and that's what's so tough to be told that.
So you say they don't see the value. Is it because the characters were black and they
Yeah,
didn't understand if people would relate to the black characters?
100%,
Okay.
absolutely.
So then when it is in your mind, was Love and Basketball a success? In my mind, it was a success. In your mind, was it a success?
Absolutely. Yeah, one, that it even got made, but two, yeah, it had a good life at the when it was in theaters, and that was back in the day when we had VHS. When that came out, it found a whole nother life, after theaters, and then it just kept growing, which is like, I'll never get over that. I'll never get over that people still watch the film today
It
or show
is.
kids.
I think of films like Love and Basketball. I think of The Best Man. I think of
Love Jones.
Love Jones. I think where are those type of films now? I feel like the culture, I feel like the community, those are true love stories. And to me, it could have been any character. It just so happens that they were black. And I feel as if they don't greenlight those projects anymore. So if you're telling me back in the day, they all told you no. Could you imagine what people are trying to put out now that is similar? I can even imagine people paying attention.
Yeah, I was asked the other day, do I think Love and Basketball would be made today? It might have been made on Netflix, but
Mm.
studios, they have just shrunk, and it's all about IP and remakes and sequels. It's really tough to do something original in the theatrical marketplace right now.
Is it tough to do something based around black characters in the theatrical marketplace right now? Because that's what I want.
I mean, yeah, making films about black women are the hardest films to get made, bar
And
none.
that's I mean, let me tell you something. You put out the best stories about black women and you're relentless about it, but it gives me hope and I am encouraged. So when you have this vision as you have had and this calling has been placed on your life, you go out to the marketplace to give us what we need, us me being a black woman.
Yep.
Do you get discouraged?
Um. Oh, absolutely. But um, I write what I want to see, and I only write what I'm passionate about, and that is what fuels me and fuels the fight. because it's always going to be a fight. And you would be shocked at what people say to your face in a room. Um, so yeah,
Like
it's kind
what?
of there. Oh, let's not cast the male lead black, because then you've got two black leads, and that's going to shrink the box office. And there's too many black people in this script. I mean, it's insane. Or diminishing the black character in the script to make her less than the white lead. Like you wouldn't believe, and to have a front row seat to that fuels the fight, that anger, or I'll call it rage. Um, Absolutely. It is, yes, being in a sustained fight for the last 20 years, but there's so few of us that we have to fight. The few of us that are out there, we have to fight.
There's no choice.
Mm-mm.
Especially when it's the calling and the passion that you feel. We have no other choice. We can't help but to do just that. You know what I mean? You wish you could turn it off and it would be easier, but you can't.